Hi, I'm JOGB and welcome to Jo on the Go.
Today I'm with Jane Scrivener, Queen of Oils, and we're going to hear all about her favourites, and then I take the Core Oil Challenge.
First of all, I have a little treat for her.
Oh my goodness!
Look what I found on my bookcase.
Is that mine? You've
That's
even got my
yours.
Post-it notes in.
No, they're my
they're
post-it
your Post-it notes.
Yes.
Wowza! This is the original colour, the original cover as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
It's a great book.
It was
And
before
your
its
first,
time,
wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
No, that was kind of what started everything, really. Just the sort of basic information, getting things done, basically, fundamentally. Not many frills. Obviously, if you did it, you'd realise that. I have moved on. I've learned things like tomatoes. They got a bad rap in that one. Now I will let people have tomatoes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because I'm not allowed tomatoes
Okay.
for autoimmune.
Okay. Yes. Yes. And they're high acidity.
Yes.
And lots of people will have an awful lot of them. So in the initial book, I just said no. But then because they're so packed with flavonoids, and even tinned tomatoes have more fabulousness in them than a raw one, then I let them in. But interesting, that's the thing, it can't be everything to everybody. So if they're not for you, but presumably there's enough in there that you would still be able to follow it.
It's a great book. I loved it. Cover to cover. I think I must have read it probably about 4 times.
It was a really lovely time, and I really enjoyed doing it. And the strange thing was, people would do it for 30 days and they'd let me know how amazing they felt and how their skin was transformed and how they slept brilliantly, and could this all be down to food? And then they'd ask me, is it safe to carry on?
Ooh.
And it's just like, yeah, it is safe to
body.
feel fabulous. It is safe to sleep well.
Yeah.
You know, don't question that. If that's happening, and we can do it with food. We can do an awful lot with food. Yeah.
And so how did that first book come about? Because you trained in Stone therapy, didn't you? Which is one of my very favourite therapies ever.
Yeah.
I love them.
It started, I think I was a massage therapist, and I was teaching massage. And it was one of those things, this is dating me big time. It was people were just getting into healthy eating and being aware that what you eat. So for me, it was that thing about we can, and just flipping that, the detox thing. I didn't think we were poisoning ourselves, and because the body detoxes all day. The body is amazing. When it's well, it knows what to do, and it can look after itself, and the liver and the kidneys are detoxing the whole time. But I think as human beings, when we get involved, we're the ones that kind of trash it all up. And society changed so that we, everything that we did socially was eating out, drinking out, those kind of things. So it was really just reining it in and bringing it back to basics. And I think the line I used was, if it doesn't look like if it's just been dug up, caught or picked, then it's not on the programme. So it was about going back to fresh foods, organic if you could, but just about feeding your body. And the detox aspect was, we would, it's like a to-do list. If you're always putting things on the to-do list, the to-do list is never done. So for the body, if you're always working late hours, if you're not fueling your body, if you're not giving yourself nutrition, then the work is never done and you're just going to get tired. And if you want that energy, then just feed yourself healthy. So that's what that was about, and it was really, it kind of came from common sense. It certainly wasn't from any nutritional training. It was a lot of research, but for me it was just, can we just rein it in and go back to basics? So that's what that was about.
Which at that time was quite, because that was the year of aromatherapy and
and aromatherapy was just started.
Health spas were huge, where they've almost died a death and just turned into hotels now. And then it all went a bit celebby land, and everyone didn't look inside their heart, and yet now it's all come full circle.
It is, and I was talking to somebody recently it's ironic that they had their first career in going into businesses and teaching wellness, and that then all went away because it was just too hard hitting and performance and now it's going back to going into businesses and teaching wellness, because actually all we've got is ourselves. So, not wishing to get too serious, I just think eating as well as you can. I always said 80-20. I think I shift to about 70-30 most of the time. If 80% of what you do and feed yourself is good, you've got 20% to mess around with. As I say, I'm more 70-30, and my 30 is kind of, I don't know, crisps and red wine and maybe a little bit of fizz.
Bit of a
Yeah, but so, you know, it is about and feeding the serotonin and feeling good about yourselves. But yeah, the difference you can make by just fueling your body properly is...
And do you think people get quite het up about?
I think you can get het up. Yes, I think you can get a little bit single track. I think you can get a little bit obsessed about not having stuff. I think a lot of our sensitivities come from overdoing things. And that's not to belittle any form of food allergies, those kind of things. But I think it's like everything in balance. You know, a little bit of what you fancy does you good, but at the same time overdoing it, just realise that and bring it back to basics. And
so since having your skincare collection, do you bring with it the guidance of, you know, what's within comes out?
Well, I bring to it my obsession, I will use the word obsession, for the quality of the ingredient and the shorter the list of ingredients I can find. So if I read about or hear about an ingredient that will do certain things, then I pretty much want to just bottle that. But oftentimes that isn't very practical for people. The work I do is trying to get the best ingredient into the most simple product to get phenomenal results. So that's kind of where I am. So it goes back to food, I guess. It's finding something that's been grown well. Obviously with oils and essential oils they have to travel because we don't produce a huge amount in the UK, but there are some that are beautiful in the UK. But yeah, that's my focus. It's kind of no fuss, no nonsense. I want to sniff everything. Most ingredients arrive on my desk before they go to be made. And in fact, this year, we brought manufacturing back in-house on all but 3 of our products.
Oh, really?
So that when the ingredients arrive, we can decide yes, and we can tinker within the legal amounts, within a formula to get the best. So like if a jojoba comes in particularly biscuity, then we have slightly less of the essential oil but to the same value and performance. If it comes in beautifully with no smell, we can put, again, within the safe parameters, more of the essential oil. So it is blended to nose, it's blended to work.
But blended to nose is so crucial, isn't it, when you're working with naturals, because every harvest is different.
Totally different. And I like to explain that. It doesn't give me a problem to explain it, but I think customers are so used to, it's like with perfume, you buy the same perfume
It smells the same
and it smells the same every time. We can mix our skincare, we can mix the cleanser, but I will pick up a slightly different smell depending on what's smelling. There's one product in the range that I know it's my blend. If I like the smell of it, if the essential oils have slightly changed and it's slightly more citrusy, slightly more mandarin, and Susie, who works with us, and she likes it, exactly the same ingredients every time, but it's the different harvests can be so different that one of us likes it and one of us doesn't. But the results, the performance is the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's that plant thing.
So how is the performance the same if the harvest is shifting that little bit?
Because the chemistry within the structure of the plant is the same.
Right.
And these people talk about non-chemicals. Everything is a chemical. There is chemistry in essential oils and blending. So the plant varietal does not change. The plant is still the plant. The rose is still the rose. But the way the structure of the fragrance is thrown, or even the way that somebody will pick it up in their own olfactory system, will be different. We talk about people pulling an oil maybe that they need at the time. So if you have a blend and you smell, I would pick up the citrus, somebody else might pick up the floral, or somebody else might put it down because they don't like the woody note. All our brains are very different, our olfactory system is different, and then just the way the fragrance is combined is different. If I try something that I've blended, and if I don't see a difference the next morning, and I don't feel a difference when I'm actually applying it, it doesn't make it. Like say with a cleanser, if you cleanse and at the end of that cleansing process you don't like the feel of your skin, then, or your skin doesn't like the feel of the product, because some people will find it's itchy or it's something, then that's not a product that works for you. So I'm not necessarily saying the product that I formulate won't make it for everybody, but because I'm the first filter, it's got my name on the tin sort of thing. I've got to take full responsibility for it. I'm not going to put something out that I say, well, it doesn't work for me, but I'm still... It's the Jane Scrivener skincare, so kind of has to come from me. So that will discount a lot of people, but it will also include a lot of people. I want the process, the experience, and then the results to all be lovely. You shouldn't have to work hard for your skincare.
No, it's nice. Okay, so she's a bit of an oil fan, in case you haven't known already. Some would say... No, I'm going to go with a core oilologist.
Well done.
Thank you. I could say it faster. Core oilologist. No, I can't.
No. It's one of those things you try at the end of a
She's
party.
She's just an expert. Yeah, there we go.
I know a lot about oils.
So, explain what core oil is.
Okay. I coined the phrase core oils because when I learnt massage, which is how I started in this industry, they were always called base oils or carrier oils, and I think it was because aromatherapy was having its heyday, its real upsurgence of everybody
90s,
wanted to use essential. But you can only put a really small amount of an essential oil because they're so active in a product. So whilst all of our products, except for one, have an essential oil blend, it's 1%. So you've got 98.
Is that the max?
It's in facial products, it really is the max, unless you've got some very, very soft essential oils. For instance, recently I did a first blend that was 0.5%, then I was 0.7% because you've got to take in all the allergen content that can't go over a certain threshold. And I was delighted that with this blend I could go to 1%. Most of them are capped depending. It's certainly something like Rose Otto, you're in at 0.004%.
Really?
Yeah, because of the allergen content. So for me, you've always got a huge amount of the other thing because my range is mainly oils. So I decided I didn't want them to be base oils or carrier oils because actually they were the thing. You've got this whole load of stuff and then 1% of
They're
something.
the everything oil.
They are the, exactly. So that's why for me they were core. They weren't base, they weren't carrier, they weren't vegetable, they weren't plant, even though they are all those things. So for me, the core of my range is oils. I always used to say I'm an oil girl. I'm an oil girl through and through. You know, get me an oil. If it had to be one ingredient, it would be an oil and it will do everything. So, and that's why I will put most of my products, even a cream and moisturiser, because I thought, no, I'm never going to do a cream. I'm never going to do a cream. Then worked on a cream that had so much oil in it, I was going to call it a croil. But then I thought it sounded like a fish product that nobody would use.
Yes.
So, but there is so much oil in there that I am happy that it's in the range because it's almost on that level that it's going to separate. There's so much oil, but it's a beautiful cream.
Croil.
Not great, is it?
I love it. Oh,
Well,
I love it. We can work on that one.
We can work on it.
It's always Cruella. No.
Oh yeah, Cruella cream.
Cruella cream.
Ooh. That'd be good.
Ooh, quick.
Okay, you didn't hear that here.
Copyright.
I just copyrighted it.
Right. And so, do you think people do understand the use of oils though? Because you've still got dermatologists going, don't put oil near oily skin, which
fills my heart with sadness.
Tell all.
There are oils for every job. There are thousands of oils. There are thousands of qualities of oils. There are thousands of blends of oils. I'm a real single estate. Know the producer if you can. Know his name, her name. Know when they're harvesting. Get them to send something from every batch so that you can sniff it and try it. So for me, if somebody says, I've got oily skin, I couldn't possibly, I'm going to go straight in with jojoba. Because even though it's termed an oil, it's a long chain fatty wax ester. Don't need to know the detail. But if you look at the chemical structure of jojoba, it is exactly mimics sebum.
Right.
And what you've got there is something therefore that will balance out your skin's natural skin oil production. You've also got, fundamentally within the skin, you've got two things that I find really important and sort of devastating that we don't know or we aren't taught at school. Is the first line of defence is the acid mantle, so any germs, bacteria, if I'm touching stuff, if I've touched my face, that's going to sort of burn it off is a really serious phrase, but it's an acidic level, 4.5 to 5.5. That means most stuff will not get through that front line. Just under there, we've got what's termed the barrier function. And that is a mixture of lipid, oil and water. And we know that oil sits on water, so what that does just under the surface is it means we don't accelerated dehydrate. So any fluid in there, any water, any hydration is not going to dehydrate. Transepidermal water loss is going to be prevented. So we're going to keep that nice plump layer of stopping stuff getting in and stopping stuff getting out. So if we go on diets and we take out all fats, if we don't apply lipids, then we are going to diminish that barrier function. So for me, oils are essential, and I don't mean essential oils, I mean these core oils. You've got to get that layer of fat in there, in the form of a lipid, and there are so many that there will be an oil for every skin type. And if somebody doesn't, because they've got oily skin, they say no to oils, then I will always start them with jojoba. Because usually the reason they don't like oils is because they're producing too much. So what we want to do is we want to calm that down, balance that out so that they've got the right level and their skin is still got a level in there so that they look plump and fresh and luminous. And then you've got that sort of translucency that makes you just look really healthy. Yeah.
Got it in your bag. And
got some in my product.
Good one. Good plug. I like that one. Clever. Okay, so what are your top 5 oils?
Okay, jojoba talked about, because it's not an oil, it's a wax ester and it works with all skin types. Then I think I'd have to go to rosehip, which is grown mainly in Chile, sometimes in Argentina and other places around the world. Rosehip is just divine. If you can get CO2 extracted, which is basically like just completely exploding the hips, and then I have this vision in my head that it all just sort of drizzles down into a thing, and then you get this bottle of this grainy, chewy, bright orange to red oil.
Should it be that colour?
Yes,
it's good quality.
Yes, it should. And it's going to have grain in it as well. That's going to maybe end up in the bottle of the manufacturer's bottle. It's probably not going to make it to your product because it's going to gunk up all the pumps. Heavy duty vitamin C content. It's also majorly cicatrisant, which I'm never sure I pronounce properly, but that is healing for the skin. So
great for old skin. Older, mature skin.
Mature, experienced skin.
I like it. I like your style.
and it's the only oil I know that they've really done loads of research on, because it was in the University of Santiago in Chile. They were using it post-operatively on scars.
Yes.
And as with always the case, there's this side effect of, oh, well, my scar's diminishing and the redness is going down, but actually the skin around it is looking fabulous. So rosehip in Chile, if you go there, they use it for everything. They'll put it in your ears, in your hair, on your face, but because it grows abundantly. So if you can get a high quality CO2 extracted organic rosehip, just beautiful. Only need literally a glance of the stuff because it is so strong and so pungent. So that would be probably number 2. Sea buckthorn. If you thought rosehip was staining,
oh really?
Sea buckthorn is like.
I always look like a really nice tan after using rosehip.
Yes, or you've been through some sort of irradiation or something like that. It's just there is that glow. It is not. You use it in such small amounts, but again, very very healing, very potent. All the gamma linoleic acids. All those good mixes of omegas that the skin needs. Could you use
that one pure? No.
You can, but you'd use such a small amount, and you would have to really massage it in, because it will stain. You will be yellow, and it will last quite some time. So in a combination, in a blend, sea buckthorn, beautiful. An oil that I've recently come to is this neem. I like discovering, and also people say about, are you using anything new? There are very, very few new plant varietals on this planet, unless they're being discovered. So really I like to find something that's been around forever, has earned its brownie points, and has got a huge track record. So neem,
all those things that ancient civilizations have loved with a passion.
Yes, and it's sort of like 4,000 years ago, you know, it was used in Indian apothecary. So it's kind of, you know, it's earned its points, really. Oat oil. It's a power packer. It's very, you'd think it was innocuous. You sort of think porridge. Where's the oil in that dry oat? But in the, it's just very, very calming, very soothing. It also is really good for that barrier function. And also oat in itself, that will, colloidal oatmeal as an ingredient, will form a really nice protective seal. So oat is a new one, it's to me, and I want to get it into a product because again, very, very calming. So things like skin conditions, redness, inflammation, that oat's a really, really good one. I've used it in a cream but haven't yet used it in a product, but there is a product on my desk at the moment which has a lot of oat in there too.
Do you not know what's here?
Yes, I do. I do. Well, I know what's in there, but whether or not I can. They're very similar.
Look, I don't know what the hell is in here. These are a little box of tricks. Okay.
This is my palette, you see, because somebody who paints will have all the different colours. This is my palette. Which one have you chosen?
Oh.
What do you think? Can you pick anything from there?
It's one you mentioned.
I have mentioned it.
Yeah.
The colour doesn't help.
No. The colour doesn't help.
In fact, the colour's surprising.
I think that's the hay-like one. That I'm going to be wrong. I can tell I'm wrong.
Did I say hay?
No. It smell like a barnyard if it's not.
No. Oh no, we haven't got that.
Okay.
Ooh. I have got another one.
That would be a funny
No,
reaction,
that was
wouldn't
oat.
it? That was oat.
Yes.
Okay.
But if you there's a slight sort of porridgey smell, a sort of an oat back note to that one.
I can see that. Well, you know, I thought. Possibly barnyard, yes.
Yeah, you were getting on the grasses and the grains,
I'm going to sort of make myself out to look great, regardless.
Let's have a...
Ooh, murky.
Oh, go steady, go steady.
Really? Oh, bloody hell.
I don't know that I meant them to be open.
Oh, really?
Yes, here we go.
She's strong. I don't want to go.
Yeah. That, my dear...
Smells nasty.
It's not good, is it? But that's neem.
That's neem.
That is neem.
That's
incredibly
nasty.
hard to get it into a product. That's the thing.
I can imagine.
Because less than 1% is only going to smell of that, no matter what you put with it. No, but what it will do to your skin, phenomenal.
Because the history of neem is extraordinary.
Oh,
it's
forever.
Like ancient civilizations.
Yeah. Oat, going back to that, it was the Roman Empire, that decided they moved it from being a food to an application. So they moved it, the Romans moved it into, they used to wash people in it. You used to massage it all over and then you use sort of stones.
People they didn't love?
No, people they loved a lot. And then they'd scrape it down, leaving their skin beautifully clean.
What's at the bottom of that then?
That? Can you smell that one? Surprisingly, there's no smell.
Myself opening them anymore.
There's a little bit of something in there. Now I'm testing you.
Oh. I was listening.
P for pomegranate.
Is it?
Yes. Oh, I said that then, didn't I? I said pomegranate.
Yes, I've got that. I've never got that one. Oh, I wouldn't have got that one.
No, there's a slight bitterness, a slight astringency. We've got the sediment, but that's that will knock out a fraction, not all of it, of the neem.
Clever.
Yeah.
Very clever. I like this. Oh, we have an almost solid.
Yes, solid at room temperature, which is similar to an olive oil. Coconut, those sorts of things, unless it's fractionated, which means it's...
Oh, I know this. I don't know why I know it. I know it. What the hell is that? Hang on. What is that?
You see, that smells more like oat to me than the oat did.
I need the list in front of me. Don't tell me.
I'm not going to tell you, I'm just thinking of a clue that I could give you. You might boil a pan of it.
I'm not really very
you might not.
I'm not really a very good cook.
You don't really know. Oh, actually, no,
not.
it is. It's good to do well when you boil this stuff.
Oh, what the hell is that?
Now this, one gram has 30% of the nutrients in this. This is the... I don't think we talked about this actually, so that's unfair to ask you. That's rice.
Rice?
Rice bran.
No, we didn't. No, I wouldn't have got that either.
So that comes from the kernel.
I actually thought I used to have a good nose.
No, but that's the thing, they don't smell like, because sometimes they'll come from the bark, the leaf.
Yeah.
That one compared to that one, both very green. One's a fruit. I don't know. You've got me on a technicality now. What's green, my lord?
Oh, God, I feel like I'm at school. What's green, my lord?
Pure
Grass.
green.
Frogs.
Might have had it in my lunch.
Not lettuce.
Avocado.
Oh, avocado. You know, I was going to ask you about avocado oil.
Avocado is great. The avocado butter, great for burns. Also, it's also got lots of sterol in, which is a natural steroid. So very, very anti-inflammatory for itching, things like that. Now that's blackcurrant seed. That's not rosehip.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
God, I've got to get one of them.
Quick. Say that again. Double take.
Rosehip.
See, that's the CO2 extracted rosehip. That's your sea buckthorn. And you can see that's going to make you luminously yellow. They don't really smell. That's why I thought that was, because don't spill them.
That's how rosehip oil would look in my bottle.
Okay.
Whereas that I thought was more intense. See, I never see them like this. This is very exciting.
Oh, let's have a whiff of that one. Oh yes.
The ocean. A little bit. Ocean.
I just get sort of slightly sweet nut.
This is fun. This is fun because I'm utter crap. Oh, see that's.
But you're not expected to know.
That's a beautiful rosehip.
You see, some people don't like that at all. So in our product that is pure rosehip, we say, I think it smells of burnt sugar. Don't you think?
I want to eat it.
Well, you could.
Sugar. I do like sugar though.
These are all food grade. That's another thing. That's blackcurrant seed.
Is it?
Yes.
Green.
It is. Very, very expensive as well.
So naive.
Kind of up there with sea buckthorn and rosehip.
I'll put that in my bag.
Doesn't smell of blackcurrant.
Oh, no, it doesn't. It smells beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, that smells like.
But that's blackcurrant
elderberries.
seed. So imagine how many seeds
to
get that. So it's not the actual currant; it's the seed, which are minute. Now, have you put the lids on properly?
Yes.
Otherwise, you might be creating a new product. And I own the rights to it.
I knew there'd be a catch.
I think we might have done them all.
Did that one.
Oh yes, we haven't. Oh, you've absolutely dissed my favourite.
There's one I've missed, isn't there? Which is.
There's two you've missed actually. You've missed that one and that one. Those two. Oh, actually.
I wish takes it so personally.
No, this I said.
Diss.
No, see, I said we hadn't brought him to the party, but he's here, and that is beautiful because that doesn't smell of anything. So that's the single estate.
Okay. So that's jojoba.
Yes.
Okay. That doesn't smell that amazing on
No,
its
but
own,
sometimes it can be very digestive biscuity.
Right. Yes.
So you have to really watch what you're blending it with.
And this one.
That's not bad, but it has.
Doesn't smell of anything.
No, you see, that's the hand extracted argan. Now, if you'd have got the stable yard argan, you would have reeled back more so. Well, no, not more so. The same as the neem.
Isn't that fascinating? Oh,
and that's the thing. You can't just whop a whole load of essential oils in. And that's why if you've got a product, dangerous thing to say, I think I can say it. If you've got a product that's got natural core oils in and it hasn't got a colour, it may have them, but it hasn't got much.
Yeah.
Because if you just look at that palette of colours, I mean, they're phenomenal.
That's a great game. This is going to have to be the new game. It's a contest for all new Joe on the goers. I want a box.
Your oil.
I want a box. I want a box filled with delights.
Oh, I could do you a box of dry ingredients. I could put some buzz buttons in there.
Buzz buttons?
And make you eat them.
That up.
And then make you speak.
What are they?
Those are the things that we put in our hyaluronic, and they're little flowers, and it used to be called the toothache plant, because in medieval days, when people couldn't afford dentistry, and for your 21st birthday or something, or before you got married, you had all your teeth taken out, because then you could put them in, and they were made into a false set, so you could put them in on high days and holidays to have your teeth. But to get rid of the pain, if you couldn't afford that, they'd chew on the plant, the buzz button, because it numbs everything.
Oh my God.
So if you chew on a buzz button, and then try and speak, it's like having been to the dentist and had an injection. It only lasts for about 10 minutes, but it's lots of fun.
I feel a whole series. Joe and Jane. Joe and Jane on the go. Jane and Joe on the go.
I'd watch that.
Thank you, darling.
So fab to do. Thank you.
Catch us on IGTV as well. Take care.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share the love. And do visit my lifestyle website, jogbliving.com, where you'll find our candles and blog and more exciting things to come. The link is below.